Whenever someone reaches out saying they want to buy a home on the South Hill, but their budget isn't going to get them the home they're looking for, then I take them to this neighborhood right here. Because not only does it have the tree-lined streets that everybody loves, but it also has that walkability, the small shops, the coffee shops, the restaurants, and a ton of natural amenities. And if you're moving to Spokane, you likely love nature and the outdoors, which is what makes this neighborhood so awesome because it features things like this. All of this is just minutes from one of Spokane's most charming neighborhoods. If you're a golfer, you'll love this. All of these amazing amenities just make up the absolute charm that this entire neighborhood has. And I'm really excited to show you this house that we're about to go check out right now. Right next to the Audubon Downriver neighborhood is Spokane's Riverside State Park, a 9,000 acre state park that features some of the most beautiful forests, rivers, and a ton of outdoor activities. There's camping. You can go swim down in the river. There's tons of access points for hiking in multiple different areas, kayaking, paddleboarding, all sorts of stuff. And I'm really excited to just talk about some of my favorite hidden gems over here in our beautiful state park. So like I mentioned, Riverside State Park is 9,194 acres, and it is just a stone's throw from this neighborhood. And that's kind of one of the reasons we chose to live over here, is because we have a super easy access to some awesome natural areas around our house. So what's awesome is you can walk to the bluff that I'm on right now, which a lot of people, when they move to Spokane, they know the bluff as the bluff on the South Hill that overlooks Highway 195 and the Latah Valley area. And that's where there's a lot of really fancy, huge homes and everything. But this side of town gets their own bluff, and there's a river at the bottom of it instead of a freeway, which is pretty cool. The only thing, the comments, those locals will point out that the water treatment facility is right there. But so you kind of have to just shield your eyes from that. But it's not too bad. Some people say they notice a smell every once in a while. I can promise you I've never noticed a smell from the water treatment facility. But otherwise, you have great access to the river from here. You can hike down this bluff. There's a couple trails. It's pretty steep, but I have gone down to the river from right here, basically. And then you can go down Northwest Boulevard, TJ Meanock. You can come around, and it'll bring you down to this road that's down here. And then there's a couple different access points in the river. I've done some cold plunges in the river down under the TJ Meanock Bridge. And then you can take this road all the way over to Bowl and Pitcher, which if you're visiting Spokane, that's definitely a spot that you want to go check out. It's this beautiful rock formation, really active water, and there's a huge suspension bridge that goes over it. And so it's just kind of a good little tour spot to go check out. But then that is one of the main access points to all the hiking in the Riverside State Park area, one of the major access points for hiking in the Riverside State Park area. Otherwise, one of our favorite spots is to go up a little bit further, about 10 minutes from here, to the 7 Mile Road, where you can access the Deep Creek area. And there's some really awesome hiking back there. And some really cool history of how all that area was formed. There's kind of like an ancient rock park. I can't remember exactly what they call it, but there's this kind of like geological area back there that is kind of educational. They've built some signs in to teach you about the rock formations and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool to check out. And then in terms of access to the river, a little bit about the same distance, about 10 to 12 minutes from here, there's an area of the river called Please Flats, which is one of my favorite because we like to go paddle boarding. And that part of the river is so calm, it's almost like a lake at that point. And you can actually very easily paddleboard upstream and then just kind of sit and chill and let yourself float all the way back down to where you parked originally. So yeah, we absolutely love it over here. Just being able to easily jump in the car with or mountain bikes or paddle boards or whatever. I've always thought it would be nice to have maybe an electric bike and I could kind of zip down TJ Meenock and then come down here a little bit. But any just, yeah, if you like that access, there's also a disc golf course right at the base of the Downriver golf course, which we're going to go see in just a little bit here. So anyway, I just think this is really awesome zone. If you live anywhere on the northwest side of Spokane, you have really easy access to this. So whether it is Indian Trail, 5 Mile, anywhere in the Audubon, Downriver, or Northwest Spokane neighborhoods, you have easy access to all of this stuff. So it's just a real treat to have this. There's other areas in Spokane where they have their own kind of unique nature area, but I just think that this one has so many more trails, so many different activities you can do. There's actually, if you're into like dirt biking or just motor vehicle outdoor things, that's not really my thing, but I know a lot of people are into that. There's a whole there's a whole course for that over there too. There's an area where I go mountain biking sometime in Riverside State Park, and across the street there's a whole like motor cross like course type of thing. So there's just tons of access that's just minutes from your house, which I think is really awesome about this neighborhood. And I'm going to show you a house around here, so just make sure to stick around for that, because I think you'll be surprised at what the dollar gets you in this neighborhood. I think that this is still an undervalued play, and so I'm excited to show you that property and get your opinions on it when we get over there. On the Downriver side of the Audubon Downriver neighborhood, there's some awesome little secret streets. Like this is Park Boulevard, where you have this awesome just strip all the way along the boulevard here. You can be up on Wellington and have nobody behind you, and there's some really cool houses up there. Then you have Riverview Drive that takes you along the Downriver golf course, and then all the way down to where it kind of curves around. Then you can look down at the Spokane River. There's some more trails there. There's some river access at the bottom of it. You can look over TJ Meenock Bridge and watch all the Bloomsday runners going across there, which just happened this last weekend. And so there's a couple really great little pockets of just I don't know, little pockets of the neighborhood that are just so nice. Just I don't know, just on a home lot. I think it would be a goal of anybody's to just have a property where you either don't have neighbors behind you and you have some open space, or you're just looking out to the river, or just you have a city view. And these are not overly overly expensive homes. Like these homes are relatively big, have great views, and oftentimes they're hitting the market in this like the 600,000 range, depending. We've had a beautiful one up on Columbus Court going that kind of curves around this other side of Downriver, kind of the entrance of the Downriver area. There's one that mid-century kind of really interesting home. These all look over the Spokane River, heading towards that water treatment facility. But they just kind of get a view of this whole valley over here. And that home sold for $1 million, but it was on it had an acre of land and was just a really beautiful property. There's just a really great mix of homes that are like your Tudor brick style homes, just kind of your like 50s bungalows. And then there's a whole stretch of Riverview that is more built in like the 70s, large ranchers, and then a couple actually newer construction homes too, from I think some teardowns that happened. So you just get to be surrounded by nature. I know you can't really see behind me, but I'm just walking towards the Downriver golf course here, and you're just looking at the trees. You're just looking across the canyon, just at the trees and the water. And so there's just a lot of really cool view lots that you could pick from around here. But it's obviously people don't sell them super often, but when they do come up, they, like I said, they're slept on sometimes, except for that $1 million one, because that sold for multiple offers in a few days just because it was such a unique property. But yeah, I come walking down here all the time. You have, again, just really easy access to golfing. We have lots of people in our neighborhood that have golf carts that will just kind of drive down here from their house and play. There's a league every week. I think it's on Wednesday nights. If you wanted to get involved in the league, good way to get to know some people. And then just super walkable. This is a super walkable area. This is all just I don't know, maybe, or you're just 10 minutes from downtown, and then you just have access to all sorts of stuff on the northwest side of Spokane, not needing to go very far to get the most things you need. But the interesting thing about Spokane is you can have just kind of like small little houses like this right across the street from a golf course that'll sell for $350,000. And then on the same street, you'll have $600,000, $700,000 houses as well that are just different square footage, larger square footage, more updated. But the golf course aspect of it doesn't mean that the houses are necessarily significantly more expensive or anything like that. It's just kind of a slept on little area that I don't think gets the recognition it could in a lot of areas. And it's just, yeah, really walkable, a beautiful area in Spokane. So as mentioned, what makes this neighborhood so attractive and similar to the South Hill is the mature trees in this area. I've been calling it the mini South Hill for some time now. And the great thing about Audubon Park, which is the park that I'm in right now, is it's actually extremely similar to Comstock Park up on the South Hill that so many people love. The only thing it's missing is the giant pool, but we do have the Shadle Park pool that's just a few minutes from here. So you still have a public pool by the city of Spokane, but there is a splash pad. They've just built a brand new play set over there. So there's an older kid play set and then a younger kid play set that has this cool slide built into the rocks. And then Audubon Park has this beautiful like cobblestone fireplace that you can actually use anytime to just have a fire and hang out with people. There's no rental requirement or anything like that, which is kind of cool. So I got some notes here, but Audubon Park is a 33-acre park. It was established in 1905 and was donated by two developers, Frank Hogan and John A. Finch of the Finch Arboretum. If you're familiar with that, down by Highway 2 and Freeway 190, I-90, excuse me. But this used to just be a thinly settled prairie, not a ton of homes here, and they owned some land and they donated this to the city of Spokane. And it was named after the naturalist John James Audubon because of the high number and variety of birds that were existing in this park and in this neighborhood. So we have this beautiful, wide open park, tons of ponderosa pine in here. This is where my team and I do our yearly Easter egg hunt. This past year, we had 15,000 eggs and about 1,000 kids running around getting those eggs. And so it was crazy and a ton of fun. But there actually used to be a streetcar system here in Spokane. It was a huge system across all of the neighborhoods right around downtown. And Northwest Boulevard right here used to actually have a streetcar going up and down it that would bring people out to this area from the center of downtown. Now, you can still see remnants of the streetcar system on this lower South Hill. There's some brick streets around like 8th, 9th, 10th, and you can kind of see some of the metal railings, rail lines in the streets there. I wish we still had it. It would be pretty cool, but it was all tore out a long time ago and it would be way too expensive to build anymore. What a lot of people love about the South Hill is that they can just walk to a coffee shop in a lot of the neighborhoods in Spokane. And so here you have Little Garden Cafe just right across the street from me, over in that kind of terracotta building over there. There's a couple other small businesses like a chiropractor and a beauty salon, things like that. And then just one block down this way, you have a couple great restaurants, handful of Mexican restaurants like Tecate Grill. You have some of my favorite pizza in Spokane, which is For the Love of God Brewing. And down the road on the other side is another favorite in Spokane. It's Flying Goat Pizza. Downriver Grill just closed. So if you're looking to start a restaurant in a really beautiful building that they have right there, then there's a building for sale and it's built out for a restaurant already. But yeah, there's just a ton of great little businesses right along Northwest Boulevard here that are super walkable, bikeable, or just a 2 to 3 minute drive from anybody's house here in the neighborhood. So it's just kind of this great community feel. And then there's just like, it's kind of a funny thing to bring up, but there's this cute little hardware store called River Ridge Hardware that's up on Garland right off of Milton here. And it's just a really great little local store. It just makes it so you don't have to drive all the way out to Home Depot or Lowe's for most things that you need. And it's just great to support local. They're very active in the neighborhood, support our Easter egg hunt. And it's just been, that's just it's just like a nice little community hub. Like so many people just from the neighborhood go there, and you just run into people and all that kind of stuff. So just a great little area. There's a lot of churches around here if that's something you're looking for. There's a nice, beautiful church back here called the Pilgrim Lutheran Church. There's another one at the other end of Audubon as well. So, and then the other cool thing about this neighborhood is that the elementary school, French Elementary, is actually built into the park. So it is on the north end up there. And so those kids just get access to the the whole park system. They have crossing guards here on the south side of the park, and the kids just kind of walk along the sidewalk all the way to school. So it's a really safe and just nice journey for the kids to get from their Downriver neighborhood all the way up to Finch there. But let's go check out what a mid $300,000 home looks like that's fully remodeled, what that gets you here in the Audubon Downriver neighborhood, because that's where people are going to start most of the time, and then they can grow into some of these beautiful homes, because there's some on the park that are listed in the mid $700,000, high $700,000 range, and there's going to be some in Downriver, like I said, that are $1 million bucks, but you can get into this neighborhood for $350,000 to $380,000 with a totally remodeled house, and that's the beauty of this neighborhood. So taking a look at the housing options in the Audubon Downriver neighborhood, we were lucky enough to have a listing in the neighborhood right now, and so I often need to kind of walk you through what one of these like bungalow homes look like on the north end of the park. And then there's of course so many different options around here, anything from like 40s built bungalow homes like this to maybe the 50s, 60s ranchers, to then into the 70s where you have the larger ranchers, especially along like Riverview Drive, some of the larger homes that are built along that area. And so, as I've said a couple times in this video, there's just a wide range of housing stock within just a couple blocks of the park, because the Audubon Park is still only like 2 blocks from here. And then your very convenient access to the Shado Park Shopping Center, where there's a Safeway, a Walmart, a handful of like more fast food type restaurants, on the north side of Audubon Park. And then of course you have all the small businesses we talked about on the south side of your park. So I just want to walk you through this house, and we'll take a look at it. So go in here. We currently have this listed at $379,000, and so we'll see what it ends up selling for at the end of the day. But you get a lot of great charm in this home with refinished hardwood floors. You have the arched doorway into the kitchen, refinished fireplace here. And I really like putting in this house these Coleman windows, just letting in a time natural light, especially in the morning here with the sun to the east of us. And then on this main floor, there's 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. So to give you an idea of bedroom size, this is it used to be a king. So I mean, it comes out if this is a king or a queen. I think it's a king. I think it's a king size bed. You still have the corner windows in this room too, which is just kind of a cool feature of this house. Refinished hardwood floors all the way throughout this main level here. And then you have this cute bathroom here, full of tub, tiled backsplash, still a vanity. It's not ginormous by any means, but very nice and functional. And then that second bedroom on this floor with the corner windows again, just a kind of a cool little feature in this house here. Yeah, and then, like I said, nice sitting room. And then over here, we have the kitchen. You have your quartz countertops. Updated this, went back to like a natural wood for the cabinets, which is nice because we've kind of done with the white and the grays of our remodels here, but kind of an L-shaped kitchen here. I've got to find a place for the refrigerator in this one though, so that's definitely something that might need to be negotiated into the deal. And then this one has a basement. I know many of you moving from out of the area, Texas, California, are not used to basements, but this is what a basement looks like if it's a mystery to you. Could actually have bedrooms out here. We have a bedroom here. This is a 4-bedroom house, so it has the legal U.S. window. So this is needed for it to be a legal bedroom. I think it's 38 inches from the ground or something similar to that. And then we're able to climb out in the event of a fire. And then down through this hallway, we have a dedicated laundry room, storage room over here. And then there's actually a basement primary suite, again with that egress window over here. And then we actually get a ensuite bathroom this way with its own vanity, and then just like its own tile walk-in shower here. So kind of seeing this a little bit more in those remodeled, like 40s bungalow homes, because a lot of times this basement was just completely unfinished and there was nothing down here. And now we're able to finish them out, add some livable space, and then turn this into an actual 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. So this is not a ginormous home. It's about 1,750 square feet or so, but likely selling in that 360 to 380 price point, fully updated. And so this just shows you kind of that you can get into the starter price range here in the neighborhood and get something that is pretty much turnkey ready, quartz countertops with some charm, ready to move in. And there's tons of options like this. So if having a neighborhood where the prices are still affordable for the house that you get, well, you get a ton of amenities. Oh gosh, I can't even stop. I have to stop in this video creating a little puppy that just said hello to me right here. Where you live? I'm Pup. So if you're looking for a neighborhood where the prices are still affordable for the amenities that you get, one of those mature, true line neighborhoods, you want some amenities that are within 10-minute walk, a 3-minute drive of your house, whether it's golfing, restaurants, the neighborhood bar, the neighborhood coffee shop, things like that, then Audubon Downriver should definitely be on your list, because there's just a ton of great options in this cute little neighborhood that we have here in Spokane. So if you are moving to Spokane, my team helps people relocate into, out of, and across Spokane every single day. And if you'd like to have a conversation with us about which neighborhood might be the right fit for you, then just use the information on the screen or the links down below to reach out to me, schedule a meeting at a time that's convenient for you. And I look forward to talking to you very much. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.